Welcome to Talkin Baloney.
Calvin Cocoa Pop.
This is Boochie.
Oh, gosh.
What's going on?
No script allowed.
What are you, some kind of bot? Come on, people.
Oh, yeah. You want a pickle, you gotta give him a pickle, right?
I want to be a movie star.
Wow, that sounds so interesting.
Fresh and quick.
Pudgy, pizza.
Part of the Baloney Nation.
Jim Deezy.
You guys still there?
Hey,
Deezy,
the big guy. What's going on, man?
welcome to another Talkin Baloney.
Man,
Who would have guessed?
Who would have guessed? Live.
57 episodes.
50 freaking 7. The Heinz 57 of
That's right.
podcasts.
And just like Heinz, sometimes we're a little slow out of the gate. But
Yeah.
once we get going,
Oh, yeah,
Man.
look out. Tons of flavor.
So in case you forgot, since last week, we are in the middle of Sitcom Madness.
Yes, we are.
And we have a lot to do today because we got to do all of round 2. We got to do the Elite 8, then the Final 4. And maybe then we'll leave it up to Baloney Nation to decide from the Final 4 who
I
is.
gotta say, I'm a little disappointed in the Baloney Nation. I thought we'd have a little bit more input.
Yeah.
No.
We didn't get a lot of interaction from Baloney Nation.
Yeah.
We got a comment or two from the hotline we can share, but
okay.
we didn't. I was expecting maybe some people to do their own picks. You know,
Yeah,
fill out a bracket, send it in.
I guess with the holiday, some people may be a little bit preoccupied, or busy or whatnot. But, frankly, no excuse. WWJD, what would Jim do?
Oh, Jim, what's there? What's on your coffee cup there?
Oh, yeah, a little fresh Jimbo Joe's coffee.
Oh,
Yeah.
that looks.
Anybody see that? Jimbo Joe's coffee.
That's quite the production you got going on in that house there.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, man. We got so many people working in the kitchen and then the marketing department, which are the same room.
You do have a nice coffee bar setup. I mean, it's kind of the prototype for Jimbo Joe's.
Yeah, it's pretty on. I'm gonna say it's pretty ritzy, actually. A lot of money invested into that section. Kind of a prototype for the truck one day, and coming in 2027. So yeah, we're testing it out now in a local market, aka the house, and
I hear it's doing well.
very well. Not making a lot of money, but
Okay,
sample
generating
daily.
buzz.
Oh yeah, definitely a lot of buzz. A lot of flies in the one window too. Don't know why. That could be the buzz.
Well, as we look at our bracket, we're going to start with the 80s round 2. The
Oh
number
man.
1 seed, Cheers versus Three's Company.
We're gonna stay same format, lightning quick on these.
We're going to keep it quick, but we definitely want to come to a decision based on a discussion rather than just saying the name of the show. So, I mean,
Gotcha.
Cheers is one of the greatest shows of all time. And as much as I like Three's Company, I got to go with Cheers in this.
I'm with you. Cheers all the way. Ted Danson, Woody Harrelson, Shelley Long, Norm.
Yeah. And it's a show that ran for like 11 seasons.
Yeah,
And was still a top show when it ended. Never really dipped in quality.
yeah, I'm definitely 100% with you. Cheers.
Round 2, moving on. Growing Pains versus Family Ties.
Okay, this is a tough one.
Interesting matchup. These
I'm
are two
going-
similar family sitcoms.
I'm going Family Ties on this one. I think
Okay.
it just it spawned. It was just a more rounded show.
It was more than just joke of the week kind of show.
Correct.
And Growing Pains, which we both like as a show,
Mhm.
is it's just kind of like a lightweight version of Family Ties, I think.
Yeah, 100% agree. Each character in Family Ties kind of had their own direction. They had their own thing. Nothing really merged, like Growing Pains did.
Yeah. doesn't get any easier in this bracket. But,
No.
Golden Girls versus Different Strokes.
Man, this is a tough one because I love Different Strokes, and I think touching on the different culture stuff going on in the show, but I'm going Golden Girls on this one because of the staying power. I just Golden Girls still talked about today. Different Strokes, unless you were there, you wouldn't probably remember the show.
That's an excellent point. One of the things we're considering when we move a show on and advance them is, do they have a lasting legacy?
Mm-hmm.
Golden Girls still really popular.
Oh yeah,
you might even wear pajamas that have Golden Girls logos on it.
That I do.
We're still waiting for photo evidence, but you got to acknowledge the Golden Girls.
Yeah, next week on the show, I will have them on.
And the last matchup in the 80s, round 2 bracket, Wonder Years versus The Cosby Show.
Okay. Again, touching on something you talked about, not literally, figuratively, you talked about last week on the show. The Cosby Show is a monster of a show. I mean, it
is.
The Wonder Years was a phenomenal show, but again, staying power, even to this day, with all the other stuff going on outside the show, it's still talked about.
The Wonder Years, or you're saying Cosby is still?
Cosby.
So it raises interesting questions.
Yeah.
I don't know how to handle every aspect of the Cosby situation. I will say a lot of stations drop the show.
Yeah.
So
when you talk about it, you got to kind of take a sedative when you do it. Like, kind of take it down a little bit. You know what I mean? Like,
wow.
Too much. Sorry, folks.
Yeah.
Too much.
I'm not sure where the line is, or that might have crossed it.
Yeah, there was no lines blurred.
So we're going to advance Cosby, is what you're saying?
Yes, I think we have to. I just think that, so many different careers spawned off of that show as well.
Yeah, it also spun off A Different World, a show we didn't include in the bracket, but it was a hit show as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's advance to the 90s round 2.
All right, 90s round 2.
Seinfeld, your number 1 seed, and Married with Children.
Man, I feel like this one needs to be a buzzer beater tie, going in at 1 and 2, 3 overtimes. But I
know you're a big Married with Children fan.
I am,
and you're not a huge Seinfeld fan.
But I have to go Seinfeld on this, just because, political issues aside, because we all know Married with Children had a lot of political issues, but characters other than really Al Bundy, not much came out of that from other shows. But now you go Seinfeld.
Seinfeld's an institution. It's you talk about one of the few shows that's gone into reruns and succeeded and is still on. I mean, I watch it almost every night at 11:30 here in Rochester. It's still like that kind of show. Married with Children is still around, but it's on those other channels.
Yeah.
Like the ones you get on Dish Network at 1032.
Yeah. And Seinfeld, real comedy. We didn't Married with Children was funny, but they threw a lot of edgy, comedic moments at you too. The stuff that was borderline, look out.
Yeah. Well, Seinfeld was edgy too.
Yeah.
They were edgy in a more realistic way, and Bundy's was a little more cartoonish.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it when the family got into brawls with other families, and they would just beat the heck out of people. But
but Kramer, come on.
Oh, come on. Now, funny how things work out. How about South Park versus The Simpsons?
Oh man,
your 2 top animated shows of all time.
I'm gonna let you make it. I'm gonna let you make your call first on this one.
This is a tough one. The Simpsons have been around forever.
Mhm.
I think if we didn't advance them, people might question the caliber of our bracket.
Mm.
I
I'm
feel
with you.
like the legacy and everything goes to the Simpsons. Personally, I like South Park better. I think
Mhm.
over time, the Simpsons has degraded in quality, whereas
Mhm.
South Park has upgraded in quality.
Mhm.
They've kind of taken the mantle from Saturday Night Live of being the show you have to watch every Wednesday to see what they're going to say about what just happened in the real world.
Yeah. But I think they're maybe throwing a lot at you now to catch up. You know what I mean? As far as legacy, I would have to say The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And you already know I'm not a big Simpsons fan, but
And I used to be.
Yeah.
I said it last week. The first, 7 seasons of the show are as good as any show that's ever been made.
Mhm.
It's just then you went on for another 25 years after that. So
yeah.
that's the question.
So I think we got to advance them. The
Yeah.
Simpsons.
The Simpsons move on, but who moves on between Roseanne and Frasier?
Now Roseanne is still on, so this is a staying power thing. So staying with the credence of what we're doing right now, I'm gonna say Roseanne. Even though I like Frasier better, I'm gonna have to say Roseanne.
They are bringing Frasier back. It'll be
I
on,
saw that. Yes.
I think it's going to be on Paramount Plus for all you streaming fans of networks that won't be here in another year. Paramount Plus.
For $9.99 or $15.99. By the time you're done buying all these streaming channels, you're gonna pay the same amount of money you would have paid for a cable bill. It's a racket.
It is. We're all pawns in their. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So you think Roseanne?
I'm thinking Roseanne for staying power right now. I know they're bringing Frasier back, but Roseanne's still there. It's still a juggernaut of a show. Does phenomenal ratings.
So I almost wonder. So Frasier is a number 3 seed. Roseanne's a 6 seed. So this will be an upset.
I have to go Roseanne. I really do. I just, I like Frasier. Love the show. I think it was a better show in its day. But its day until it comes back out, I got to go with Roseanne. It's never really left. I mean, they brought it back. It got a little jump start on Frasier.
It did. And then they fired Roseanne, and they still call it Roseanne, right? Or is it now the Connors?
I think it's the Connors now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they
Now-
would change the name.
If we're going off that alone, I mean, we could make a case for the other show.
Well, it's interesting. Like, if you had to sit down and watch, let's say both shows are streaming, you could watch every episode start to finish.
Mhm.
Which one would you watch right now? Gun to the head. Got to make a choice.
Oh. I'm gonna go Frasier only because there's, and actually, I'm gonna make a good point here. Connors touches on too much politics for me.
So I would say Frasier. I think I said this last week. It's like a classic sitcom. It's a farce. It's they get a ton of mileage out of the simple sitcom premises of, wait, what did that one person say? Oh, I can't believe they said that, and then hysterical stuff happens.
So you know what? I'm gonna backtrack here. I'm gonna go Frasier only because you just made a good point. Roseanne is the Connors now, so I can't go off that longevity staying power because it's technically a different show.
Yeah, and let's give longevity. I mean, Kelsey Grammer played the character of Frasier for 9 seasons on Cheers, and then like another 9 seasons of his own show.
Yeah, never got fired.
Yeah, continuous 18 years. You could watch Frasier Crane do.
Never got fired. Never say anything stupid, offensive, anything like that. Just doing his thing. So yeah, you know what? I'm staying with Frasier.
All right.
Good discussion
Frasier.
on that one. That changed my mind.
Well, here's an interesting matchup: Fresh Prince of Bel-Air versus Friends.
All right, so I'm a Fresh Prince guy, but I got to go Friends here. It just, think about this: longevity, staying power. We're talking about Fresh Prince again, but who has a box set of Friends and who has a box set of DVDs of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Well, and remember on Netflix, not that long ago, the #1 stream show was Friends.
Mm-hmm.
It was so popular on Netflix that HBO Max pretty much came into existence because they wanted a place to stream Friends and make money off of it rather than let Netflix make all the money.
Yeah, for $9.99 a month, folks. Another streaming channel you can buy.
I think they're $15.99.
Oh, $15.99. So now we got $15.99 for that one, $9.99 for Paramount, $9.99 for Netflix. We're up to a regular cable bill now.
That's how it works.
Such a scam.
It's going to quickly move into the 2000s.
All right.
Because this is The Office, and this is, the matchup with Two and a Half Men. Two and a Half Men is, of course, a very popular show, but this is The Office we're talking about.
I'm not even going to debate this one, The Office.
Yeah. We did a whole episode built around The Office.
Yeah. We've never done a Two and a Half Men
it'd be weird for
show.
us. I'm going to say, safe to say, we never will.
Yeah, never.
Next up, Eastbound and Down, the HBO sitcom with Kenny Powers versus Arrested Development.
So it really doesn't matter what we pick here, because in the next round, it's going down to The Office.
That's one way to look at it.
Yeah, but I love the Kenny Powers show. I do. I love that show. It was hilarious. You just had to watch it. But I love Arrested Development. So I've actually gone back and watched some of these shows now that you've talked about them a little bit. And, man, Arrested Development was a little ahead of its time. I kind of got to say it was.
Arrested Development is very good. If there's anyone who could challenge The Office, I think it's them.
Had that Office/Friends kind of aura about it, too.
Yeah. So
I love Kenny Powers, don't get me wrong. But I'm going to go out the window. I'm going Arrested Development only after watching 2 episodes.
And I think we should mention Eastbound and Down. We didn't talk about it last week. Mm-hmm. But the star turn by Will Ferrell in that, where he played a character who was essentially Ric Flair.
Mm-hmm.
He's essentially doing a Ric Flair impression as a character.
He's a car salesman too, right?
Yeah. So good.
And he does Ric Flair through pretty much every scene that he's in. So it's
he's got the blonde hair looking like Ric Flair from 1985.
The Rolex wearing.
So now that we mentioned that, we'll advance Arrested Development.
Yeah. They don't stand much chance in the next round, but hey, you never know. Upsets happen in the bracket.
We don't know where we're going with this. This is all up in the air. Like Always Sunny upset How I Met Your Mother, and now they're against Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I'm Curb Your Enthusiasm. Make a case. Make a case.
You want me to make a case for Curb, or?
No, I'm going with Curb Your Enthusiasm. If you're picking otherwise, you got to make your case now.
I got to go with Curb as well. That's a show that still on the air. It's Larry David. He's a genius.
AKA Bernie Sanders.
He does a pretty good Bernie Sanders, and he does a great Larry David too.
Yeah, great.
Basically playing himself, but not quite himself.
Yeah.
So we advanced Curb, and we'll move on to the last bracket of the 2000s. Malcolm in the Middle, 30 Rock. Family sitcom versus workplace television parody sitcom.
I'm going to have to go 30 Rock here. Malcolm in the Middle is a good show. Well produced, well written, kind of relatable, but 30 Rock, it was a juggernaut.
Fey, Alec Baldwin.
I mean, you can't go. It's
Tracy
a juggernaut.
Morgan.
Spawned a lot of careers. Well, they're already careers, They were just doing something for fun.
All right. Let's try to finish round 2.
All right.
Move to the Today bracket with Parks and Recreation versus Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine's funny, but I'm going Parks and Recreation on this one.
Yeah. Parks and Rec is like the... It's like The Office. It's just as good, maybe even better. We'll see if they meet up in the Final Four. We'll see what happens.
You never know.
Archer versus Veep.
Okay.
As we learned last week, I'm an Archer fan.
Uh-huh.
You haven't really seen Veep.
Yeah, the vice presidential show with what's her name from Seinfeld.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yes, one of her best actress roles was National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, but we'll leave that out for now. But
talk about awards. She won the Emmy for Veep. I think every year she did the show.
Really,
that's tough to top.
Yeah. So, what's your pick?
As much as I like Archer, and I could watch that all day, Veep was a very special show. Funny on all kinds of levels. It had slapstick, it had goofiness, but it had really funny, well-written stuff as well. I gotta go Veep.
I'm going Veep with you. And I'm gonna watch Archer one of these days, I swear.
You might like it.
Yeah, I think I will. It's
Big Bang Theory and Community. Community is the number 3 seed. They are the favorite going into this. I'd have to say make a case for Big Bang because I certainly don't like that show, but
I like Community, but Big Bang Theory is a juggernaut of a show. It was the top rated show on cable forever. We're in the minority here with Community. We really are. But
I don't know.
I am all for upsets in this bracket, and I'll listen. If somebody wants to challenge me on this, make your case. But I'm going.
I would
Community.
say among critics and people who study the industry, I would think Community is thought of as the better show.
Mm-hmm.
Big Bang Theory it's a sitcom with you talk about realism and relatability. These are not real characters. These are someone's impression of what a nerd might be in real life, and it's way off. Mm-hmm. That's why I couldn't stand the show.
Mm-hmm. I gotta say I enjoyed watching the show, but it's not really my cup of tea. It is funny at times, but I feel like a lot of it's forced. And the fact that the elevator was broken from season 1 all the way to the end tells me it was very lazily written.
Well, I think the laugh track does almost all the work in that show.
Yeah.
Are the jokes really funny, or is just the laugh track turned up enough to make you think it might be? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Community advances. Let's do it.
Community advances. Let's do it. Upset, upset, upset.
And to finish, round 2, the Goldbergs versus Modern Family.
So, love both shows. Loved Modern Family. Has Al Bundy in it. Had a funny. Touched on a lot of good topics. But I'm going Goldbergs only because it reminds me of the day.
Reminds you of your upbringing.
Yeah, and I got the shirt. The one brother that the one brother wears. I got those shirts. I had those shirts.
I'm not sure what that means.
I had all the shirts that he wears in that show from the 80s.
Okay.
All of them. That's how old we are, folks. That's how old we are.
Oh, yeah. A show that's nostalgic about the 80s would seem to be the perfect show for Talkin Baloney.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, Modern Family I have to make a case for. It is the number 2 seed. It is it's a more popular show than the Goldbergs. And I think, even though this is the hardest part, the lasting legacy, how relevant will the Goldbergs be in 10 years? Whereas how relevant will Modern Family be? I feel like that's the more relevant show.
So I would say that on that, precedent, I would say Modern Family probably. There's some slapstick comedy in Goldbergs. Like it's, again,
It's
we're writing.
broad.
Yeah, we're writing some stuff and that mom is. It's funny, but that mom is pretty freaking annoying. But I used to sit down and watch Modern Family with my wife all the time. Every time it was on, we'd watch a new episode. So staying power, if we're going off that, and staying with our format right now, staying power, I'm gonna go Modern Family because I could see that's already they're already showing episodes already.
Yeah, it's everywhere right now.
And what happens when Goldbergs gets out of the 80s?
Well, I don't know how much longer the Goldberg show is going to go on. It might be nearing the end of its run. Modern Family did just end.
Yeah.
But the Goldbergs, when the show is so specific to the 80s, and right now the 80s are hot, we kind of built our podcast around it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how hot the 80s is always going to be, though. Like, it's like you look at Happy Days now. Happy Days was all about the 50s and the diners. And
yeah, can't really go to a diner now.
It doesn't seem relatable, right?
No.
Go down to the soda shop and talk to the guy who owns it.
I'd like a malt. Can I get a malt? They're like, a what? You get the hell out.
You order a number off the menu and that's it.
Yeah.
You want a 1, a 2, a 3?
Grilled cheese. Get the hell out of here. We don't make those here. All we serve is Boca burgers. You see that? Again. You see that, right?
Yeah.
What? Talkin Baloney. Bang, bang. Hey, welcome back.
It is Talkin Baloney, and we are talking Sitcom Madness.
That's correct.
We've moved on to the Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
And in the 80s, that means 4 tough challenges.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers versus Family Ties.
Again, Cheers. I have to go there.
Yeah.
I got to go there. I love Family Ties. But there's got to be a winner and there's got to be a loser. And
that's right.
Cheers
is the number 1 seed. And if I had to say something about Family Ties in a negative way, sometimes they were too serious sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You didn't have that problem with Cheers usually.
No. Only when they were going to lose the bar.
But even then, it was still like...
It was still funny.
Norm always had something funny to say, and Cliff would say something annoying, and then Carla would throw something at Cliff. Comedy.
Yeah. They knew when to pull you back.
So we're doing it. We're sending Cheers to the Elite 8.
Yes. All right. How about
Golden Girls versus Cosby Show? Who will advance to battle Cheers?
So this is tough.
Yeah.
This one's going to be tough. I want to say Cosby Show, but my heart is leaning towards Golden Girls.
Well, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Obviously, Cosby is the elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm. The elephant in the courtroom, so to speak.
Yeah. Golden Girls never hurt nobody. And I feel like even though we're judging the shows based on how good they were, man, I'm ready for Golden Girls to beat Cosby.
I'm with you.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Upset right now. Golden Girls over Cosby.
Golden Girls in the Elite 8 will take on Cheers. But first, let's go to the 90s.
Okay.
Seinfeld, the number 1 seed, versus The Simpsons. This is a colossal battle of all time right here.
Oh man. All right. I'm gonna let you make your case first on this one. While I mull over this jelly bean.
Well, I've got to go Seinfeld myself. I feel like Seinfeld. No show is going to compete with The Simpsons in terms of longevity. They're still on the air. They debuted in '89. They're still on the air, but quality of the show isn't where it was.
Mm-hmm.
Seinfeld left the air as the number one show. They were still number one when they did their finale. The show remained a top show in syndication.
Mm-hmm.
I know all the years I worked in TV, Seinfeld was always the top show at 7 o'clock or 7:30. Now,
I'm with
30
you.
years later, it's still on. A little bit later at night, but it's still there.
I'm with you.
All right. Seinfeld.
I'm Seinfeld all the way.
Frasier versus Friends. This is pretty much the Thursday night NBC lineup. They called it must-see TV, and here we are 30 years later still talking about it.
All right. So I liked Frasier. I liked Friends. But again, I just don't see how Frasier beats Friends. It was such a juggernaut of a show. Like, it was the coffee talk show. Like, the Monday morning quarterback, let's talk about Friends. Or the Monday morning water cooler, we're talking about Friends. So, yeah, I'm going Friends. Sorry, Frasier.
Yeah. I would love to put Frasier through, but it's got to be Friends, I think.
God, it has to be. I don't see how it can, it's maybe there's an upset brewing down the road, but not right now.
The 2000s. The Office versus Arrested Development.
It's the
Two
Office.
of my favorite shows.
Office.
But you got to move The Office.
You have to.
Probably could have just started this show in the beginning and just said, who is going to challenge The Office?
Yeah.
How about Curb Your Enthusiasm versus 30 Rock?
I'm going to go 30 Rock here. So if you think it's Curb Your Enthusiasm, tell me why.
Well, 30 Rock is the number 2 seed. Curb is your number 3 seed. So this is the battle that the experts expected at this level.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to give an edge to Curb, it's for the longevity.
Mm-hmm.
Still on the air. 30 Rock was a funny show, brilliant at times, but it only did 5-6 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Larry David's out there still cranking out shows. He's in his 70s.
He's still funny.
Still funny.
I'm going to side with you. I'm going with you on whatever show you pick here. Because I like them both.
I do too. I'm a huge fan of both shows.
Yeah.
I'm going
It's a tough
Curb.
one. Okay. I'll go Curb with you so we can advance Curb.
Curb advances to the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the last two matchups in the Today bracket. Number 1 seed Parks and Rec versus Veep.
I'm going to have to go Parks and Rec on this one. Just a
Parks
great
and
show.
Rec is, it's an all-timer kind of show.
Yep.
Veep, we talk about longevity. Where will it be in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? Will it still be a relevant show? I'm not as sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think Parks and Rec is one of those classics.
And Veep, you got to have, HBO, Showtime or something like that to watch it.
HBO Max, $15.99.
Oh, $15.99. Here's another $15.99 for you, folks. Now we're up over $50 a month.
Parks, if you want to watch Parks and Rec, that's on Peacock, which is $4.99 a month.
Or $9.99 with no commercials.
If you've got that kind of money that you can just say, I'm not going to watch ads anymore.
You might as well take that money to a strip club, folks. You're getting the same show.
Same show.
Same
and
show.
There's still going to be commercials in the big events.
Yeah.
You're only saying I don't want to watch commercials in reruns of The Odd Couple. That's all you're saying. Community versus Modern Family. We had a tough time advancing both these shows. I think Modern Family moves ahead pretty easily.
Yeah, I think Modern Family. Boom, done.
All right.
This is getting tough.
We're down to the nitty gritty. We're in the Elite Eight. This is where we pick the show that's going to the Final Four.
The road to the finals.
The 80s is Cheers versus the Golden Girls.
Oh man, I'm going Cheers. I'm gonna have to speed this up because if I think about this too much, I'm gonna be.
Well, I mean, at this stage, we've talked about both shows.
Mm-hmm.
We know you're a Golden Girls fan. I think Cheers is the team. That's the show. All right. The 90s, Seinfeld versus Friends.
All right.
Make a case for Friends.
So, star power, but
Okay.
you got star power in Seinfeld. Comedy, you got comedy in Seinfeld. I'm going Seinfeld on this. It's more original to me than Friends was.
That's an interesting point you brought up.
Mm-hmm.
Friends is kind of a traditional sitcom, whereas Seinfeld kind of broke the mold of sitcoms.
Mm-hmm. You know, I think that, you know, all the different characters, I mean, Friends went on for a long time, and I just think Seinfeld was just a maybe a better written, I'll give the edge on the writing to Seinfeld.
Right. I agree. Seinfeld.
You want to call it an upset? We'll call it an upset, but I'm going Seinfeld over Friends. Nation, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell us we're wrong.
See, Friends might be more popular now than it was when it aired on TV because it was that big a hit on Netflix.
Yeah.
And if it is more popular than Seinfeld, let us know. But we're putting Seinfeld in the Final Four.
Absolutely have to.
The 90s bracket, it's The Office or Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Office.
Yeah. I thought you might say that. I'll give a lot of love to Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's a great show.
Yeah, great show.
And then Parks and Rec versus Modern Family.
This is tough. But again, staying power. I could see both. There's so many streaming networks out where we're watching both of these for the next 40 years. But I'm gonna say Modern Family because there was so much going on in every show, from, you know, different stories, excuse me, different characters, different, you know, even political things going on. They touched on all that, and they still made it a good, wholesome show.
I will defend Parks and Rec.
Okay.
And I will say, if you're talking about original characters, something you've never seen on TV before, and you have to talk Ron Swanson.
Okay.
He had the mustache.
Yeah.
And he had his likes and his dislikes, and you knew as a TV viewer what he liked and what he disliked. And seeing his reaction every episode when stuff would come up, like he's begrudgingly brought to a strip club.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he doesn't want to be there, and he's kind of like dragged into the place. And then he notices they have a buffet, and it's all-day breakfast. Next thing you know, you're seeing him spinning plates in the air, happy as can be because it's all the eggs and bacon.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
Modern Family's funny. I don't know if they can touch Ron Swanson.
Okay. So, are we going to unanimously Parks and Recreation?
If you're okay.
I'm okay with it. I can be swayed on this because they're both great shows. And now I will say I think Parks and Recreation sometimes was a little bit more like humor that maybe we needed.
It was a show with a very positive, uplifting tone. Like it wasn't negative.
It reminded me a lot of The Office.
Yeah. I think, as we'll see in the Final Four, our Final Four matchup is Cheers versus Seinfeld. and The Office versus Parks and Rec. And we are going to put this to Baloney Nation.
Yep.
If they care to bother, they can vote.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if you don't have,
I don't want to
something
put anyone
die,
out. You know,
Yeah.
it only
My
takes
God.
like 2 seconds.
Hey, look. What? Oh, done.
Get some notifications there. You want to check your phone?
Just telling me that probably somebody hacked my credits. Probably
Car
another.
warranty is up.
Yeah, car warranty's expired. Somebody posted another funny video on Twitter about animals. Why do we even have cell phones, people? Why?
DoorDash just let me know that there's a lot of discounts for Easter delivery. So
Oh,
that's a nice uplifting message. Hey, happy Easter, by the way.
hey, happy Easter. Hey, look, in the true spirit of Easter,
Yeah?
jelly beans, man.
Ooh, sweet tarts.
Sweet and classic. And then, if you want the classics, obviously, I already ate these, but, we got the classic jelly beans too,
Sure. So this wraps up Sitcom Madness. It's now
Final four.
down to the final four. We're going to let Baloney Nation decide.
Okay?
Well, most likely we're just going to come up with our solution next week.
Yeah. Obviously, some of our listeners are a little, preoccupied, so to speak.
So it's Cheers versus Seinfeld, The Office versus Parks and Rec. You pick your winner, and then pick your grand champion, who is overall the #1 sitcom of all time.
These are some heavy hitters right now.
Yeah. You can make a case for every one of these shows.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a show that doesn't deserve it. I think there's a show in my mind that we would both pick.
Mm-hmm.
In case you've never seen this podcast, what are you, sleeping under a rock?
Yeah. What you been sleeping the whole pandemic?
But speaking of Baloney Nation, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. You're going to review some new beef jerky.
Oh, and I got a shocker for you on this one, folks.
Okay. And then we've got some questions and comments from Baloney Nation. And we'll be right back.
Woo, yeah. Great.
Jim Deezy.
Hey, look it's the Baloney Nation hotline.
That's right.
585-484-1770, folks.
Fantastic.
Hit us
You
up.
can hit us up. We're also online, talkinbaloney.com. If you go there, we do have the brackets up. You can still play along at home and send them to us, please. And we're also on Twitter at Baloney Talkin.
Yeah.
And before we get to our questions and comments, we started something about a month ago where you reviewed beef jerky.
Yes,
we want to
I
get
did.
the latest updates from you on
You
the beef
got
jerky.
we had two, and I'm going to cheat at my phone real quick for a minute. We had one called Beer Jerky for Beer Drinkers, original beef jerky.
It's a beef jerky for beer drinkers.
Yeah, beef jerky for beer drinkers. That's And then we had another one called Fusion Jerky, which was cracked pepper beef jerky. And I got to say,
Now, you were very excited when you got these. You texted me. I
was
think
like,
you liked the cracked pepper.
I did. I like the cracked pepper, but here's the problem I'm noticing with some of this special beef jerky.
Uh-huh.
They're good on day one when you open the package. Rawr. You go back after 3 or 4 days and have a piece of it, and it's already starting to turn. Like I don't know if it's because maybe the beef jerky's not dehydrated all the way, or if it's, beef jerky shouldn't be, these have good flavor, but they shouldn't be too chewy.
Okay, so there's a freshness problem.
Yeah, I almost like this beef jerky. The cracked pepper was delicious, but the chunks of pepper that were on it were these gigantic chunks of pepper. So I felt like I was always spitting out a seed of something while I was eating my beef jerky, which even if it's good flavored beef jerky, I can't do it. Can't do it.
Well, how about the beef jerky for beer drinkers?
Now, I'm going to say that was a good beef jerky. It tasted like it had a little bit of a stout beer mixed into it, which I guess is what their logo is saying. But that was one of those ones that after about day 2, day 3, jerky started to taste a little funny.
Tasted a little funny.
Almost to the point that it was losing. It had a flavor to it that wasn't originally planned.
Now, these are sent to you as part of a Jerky of the Month Club, right?
Jerky of the Month Club, yes.
Do you think it's a question of that way it's delivered, that maybe you're not getting them at the freshest, or do you think it's the fault of the beef jerky manufacturer?
I think maybe that this, I don't know if this jerky's being sent right directly from the manufacturer or if it's sitting in a warehouse or how it's being done. But I just, that particular, when you start mixing, I think, beers and stuff and different flavors with beef jerky, I think you're opening yourself up to a flavor issue. I would almost think you would have to refrigerate something like that, wouldn't you?
I always wondered that. I mean, that's why back in the Old West, they made beef jerky so that they could eat the meat without having to keep it cold.
Yeah, and I think if you start adding all the extra stuff to it, you start to. But hey, it was good the first night I opened it.
And now you've got a special surprise. You've got a new beef jerky.
So this is not part of the Beef Jerky of the Month Club, but this particular one is called Matador Teriyaki Beef Jerky, 100% beef, 9 grams of protein, slow cooked and smooth. Go ahead and charge forward. But
love the packaging, nice design,
catchy.
Like the logo.
I found this at the grocery store yesterday, and I bought it thinking, hey, this would be a good review to do along, just a store-bought one versus this special-made imported stuff. Sure. And I got to say, this is some of the best damn beef jerky I've had in a long time. Hands down.
Wow.
Good beef jerky. And it's just...
So right now, that's beating all the premier jerkies you're getting in the club. The 4 that you've done.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Wow.
It's a shocker. But I'm telling you right now, there's no extra. It's just a teriyaki beef jerky. There's no seeds on it. There's no peppers. There's no beer flavor. It's just beef jerky. And I got to say, excellent idea.
All right.
Keeping it simple.
That's how you like your beef jerky. Simple.
I want it to taste like beef jerky.
Well, let's go to Baloney Nation right now. And
all right.
See, we got a comment about our sitcoms. Is there a sitcom that you maybe hated at the time but love now, or vice versa? Maybe one you loved then but doesn't hold up now?
It's a tough one.
I can help you out a little. I feel like a lot of shows I liked as a kid don't hold up now. I'm going to go back a ways, but Welcome Back, Kotter was a very popular show when we were very little. I remember watching it in the early 80s in reruns. And I liked the show. I've seen it recently, and I think it's one of the worst shows I've ever seen. Welcome Back, Kotter is terrible. It's a horrible show.
I got one for you, too.
Okay.
I actually went back and watched some of these here just recently, and I'm going to go with, and I've liked this show. I've said I've liked this show. Silver Spoons.
It doesn't hold up.
No, absolute garbage. Now, I went back and watched it from first pilot episode all the way through, and it is some of the worst canned laughter. Lines placed purposely. They're in the middle of a dramatic scene, and someone throws out something absolutely, absolutely stupid to get a laugh.
Yeah. Just
to say, the crowd, we're going to get you on the moment of almost crying, then we're going to throw a stupid zinger out there just to get you to laugh. Yeah, no. I actually watched it now, and the show makes no sense to me whatsoever. But loved it back in the day.
Okay. Another show that comes to mind for me is actually Friends. So I watched Friends every Thursday night when it was on. Thought it was a good show. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't have said I liked it more than Seinfeld, but I liked it. Mm-hmm. And then working at a TV station where we showed Friends back to back every day, and you see every episode over and over again, I really grew to dislike it. And kind of what you're saying, you start to see almost said something you can't say anymore. the peck marks in the armor.
Yeah.
It's a show that the characters were so stupid. The characters of Joey and Phoebe were beyond realistic. They were just as stupid as they could possibly be, to the point of, why isn't there someone there to help them make it through the day?
Yeah. Yeah. Overproduced.
Yeah. And the stunt casting, the constant, we have to have a celebrity appear on the show every week, no matter what. All right. Let's move on, because we've got a Twitter comment that I think you saw this.
Yes. Jeez.
It's Melly Mel's. She says, this donut was fabulous. I have to say, it may have beat Krispy Kreme. Maybe it was the Peep. And now here's a photo of that donut. It's loaded up. It's got like little eggs on it. It's got a Peep.
So
hard to tell what kind of donut. It looks like it might just be a chocolate donut with lots of stuff on it.
So here is my question to Melly Mel's. When is it no longer a donut?
Good question.
If I'm eating a donut, I want to see the hole in the middle. I want to see the glaze waterfall hitting the donut. And I want to taste that goodness and just the glaze in the donut.
And think about how you said you like things simple when it comes to beef jerky.
Simple on the donuts.
The Krispy Kreme original glazed, there's nothing to it, right? It's a plain donut with glaze. And it is one of the best things in the world.
Yeah.
In the world, Jim Deezy. In the world.
There is no better donut. Period. I put my stamp on it.
We could waste our time and do a donut bracket and try to decide what's the best donut. It'd be a waste of time. We already know.
You can put any donut you want. We're just going to say, I'll throw the game. It's a Krispy Kreme donut.
It's original glazed. What are we doing here?
There's nothing to debate.
So, Melly Mel's, I'm not sure. Maybe she had a fever that day, or maybe she wasn't feeling well.
She was in Florida.
She was in Florida. Okay. So, she
fever's possible.
Yeah, the temperature down there might have been getting to her.
Yeah, it's, again, it could have been all the sugar on the donut. I mean, it could have been the cake donut, whatever you want to call it.
All right. Getting back to Baloney Nation, we have a comment from YouTube.
Oh, great.
So this appeared on the YouTube page for the Scranton Tour video, which is a huge runaway hit for us.
Yep.
This is from Wi-Fi Ghost Cruiser is the username. I saw you looking out the side window towards the camera for almost 10 seconds when you were driving forward. I can't believe you didn't end up with 3 dead people in that car. Holy crap. I'm watching you looking everywhere except out the front window.
So were you watching it for the Scranton Tour, or are you just watching it for a driver's safety class?
They paid a lot of attention to what you were doing. I went back, I rewatched it, even though I've seen it 100 times, just to try to see what they were talking about. I don't know if there was a specific time where you weren't like, sure, glancing, but you were always looking at the road.
Yeah. And I do recall there's one scene where I'm looking over my shoulder for about 5 or 6 seconds, but I'm at a stop sign.
Correct. Maybe he saw you eating a Pudgy's pizza slice and thought you were driving, but no, that was a parked car.
Yeah. I gotta say, this is the thing with YouTube. Anybody can comment with no facts.
Not only that, but their comment, I could delete it, but I won't, because that's not what we're about here at Talkin Baloney. But that comment will be up there forever.
Yeah.
And I think in the long run, people are going to look at that comment and say, what was Wi-Fi Ghost Cruiser thinking? Did they watch the same video the rest of us watched?
Yeah, because it's a office tour of Scranton. It's not a driver's safety class. There's no driver's ed thing written on my window or on the roof or on the side or.
And beyond that,
But I do want to thank Ghost Wi-Fi guy for a comment. Because, hey, you just got on the show, man.
That's right. Leave us a comment on YouTube, on Twitter, or Baloney Nation Hotline, 585-484-1770.
We'll make you famous.
That's right. That's our policy.
Lane.
Yeah. Over 1 million people are in this state.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Jim Deezy. Another week
All right,
down.
man. Another week down. You know,
We've got a final four. We'll pick a winner. We'll see what the nation says.
Hopefully the Easter Bunny brings everybody a nice Easter basket today, you know, full of jelly beans and candy and chocolate so that you can have a stomach ache tomorrow morning. And Krispy Kreme jelly beans. I didn't get any of those.
Gotta know the right people.
Oh man, just give me a
You probably
box.
got Peeps.
No, I don't. No Peeps. But I'll tell you what, if I had a box of Krispy Kreme donuts right now, Easter would be complete.
Before we go, since we brought up Peeps, what about this Pepsi that is Peep flavored? Have you seen this?
I have not heard of this.
Pepsi, it's all the rage, marshmallow flavored soda. And Pepsi is releasing in a yellow can, Peep flavored Pepsi.
And is this out already?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, I'm going to stop tonight somewhere and pick up some, and we will review it next week.
If you do find some, save it, and we'll do it live on the air next week, like we did the Moxie.
Excellent. I'm down.
I'll try to find some as well.
All right. That sounds good.
All right.
Yes.
Until next week, keep it classy.
And wash your hands, folks. Keep on washing. Get the hand sanitizer out.
It ain't going away.
Yep. Nope. Not anytime soon.
Roar.